very, very warm welcome. This is a
Thank
very
you.
special
You,
day.
Mariella.
We've been talking, we've been chatting offline, we've been getting to know each other, and it's really a pleasure not only to be live on Facebook with you, but also for the fact that it's quite a special day, and we actually chose today for a very special reason. First of all, I'd like to introduce Zen. And Zen came into my life through my Facebook group, Play the Boss on Fire. And as we got to know each other, I got to know that she is what is known as a social entrepreneur. So the group is for lady bosses, is for entrepreneurs, but this is a very particular one because Zen is a social entrepreneur. And when I say social entrepreneur, it's quite interesting for you to tell us exactly what you mean by social entrepreneurship and why we specifically chose today, because today is a special day leading to tomorrow, and tomorrow is the special day.
Yes, today is the eve of Earth Day. 22nd April is International Earth Day, celebrated since the past 51 years.
Wow.
And it's an international opportunity for everyone to remember the importance of a healthy planet, the importance of sustainability, and the importance to live in harmony with nature, but also to protect it.
So we were saying that tomorrow, the 22nd of April, is Earth Day, and Earth Day has special connotations for first, and that is why we called this particular Zoom today, what future world shall we leave our children? So I'm going to give you, the opening speech, because you have placed a lot of importance in your life, in the way you live, in the life you want to bring into your children's life, and also how you want to do sustainable business. So where did all this love come from?
Yes, Mariella. First of all, I would like to go back to your initial question about the social entrepreneur.
Yes.
Because the social entrepreneur is just like any other entrepreneur. So makes a business, makes a profit, but there is a difference, there is a shift in the mindset, because the social entrepreneur wants to kind of make the world a better place, right? So besides generating profit, the social entrepreneur or the social business structures its business so that it generates also a benefit for others, people or planet. And in fact, these are the three P's: people, planet, and profit. These are the three basic ingredients that make up the triple bottom line, which is an internationally recognized framework, economic framework for businesses. And in reality, many experts say that it is the future of all kinds of businesses.
So why would a business like this differ from most other businesses? You have social entrepreneurship. What does your business do that would be different to any other business with this social awareness?
Well, in reality, my sustainability journey started some years ago, because I was also an entrepreneur. I always had an entrepreneurial spirit in everything that I do. But then a shift happened, and it happened actually when I was pregnant with my first child. And this is a very common phenomenon, by the way. It happens to a lot of moms-to-be.
Yeah.
Because there is this, we have this nurturing feeling and this protective nature as women, and automatically we start asking questions about what kind of future will they have, what kind of world will our children be living in. And without wanting it out, naturally, we want to make a better place for the sake of our children. Right. So that's when my transformation happened, and I started seeing everything in a different light, including my business. Yeah. And I was drawn to environmental sustainability, because I think the first step towards making a better place, we are individuals, so usually we say, what power do we have to change things? But in reality, we do. And it's called conscious consumerism.
Yeah.
So basically, conscious consumerism is the act of taking the time to, first of all, reflect if you really need to buy what you are going to buy. Because whether we like to admit it or not, we are all brainwashed into buying stuff.
And sometimes we find it as therapy. So it's not that we actually physically need the good, but we just get a stimulation. It's our way of gratifying ourselves.
Exactly. And the second thing, so when we need to buy something, we take the time to understand and identify whether this product is actually contributing to damaging the planet or contributing to improving the planet. There are many factors.
Yeah, this is something that we are all a lot more aware of than we've been in the past. And even if we just look at packaging, and recently we've been so much more consuming at home that it is shocking to realize just the amount from separating our waste, the amount of packaging that we actually get to dispose of every single week. It's really shocking, because unless this is going to be at a point where it's going to be recycled, it's quite alarming, really.
And recycling is always the last option. In reality, there is a whole, a lot of other priorities that needs to be taken into consideration before a product is actually ready for recycling. We are living in a world where we are blinded by the manufacturing process. Like, we don't know what's happened, when in reality it's easy to know now with all, with the communication channels. So we are blinded because we are unaware. So the first step is indeed a shift in the mindset to make us more aware of what's happening, and make us more responsible in our habits and in our decision making, particularly when buying something.
Yeah. So if we had to sum this together, yes, you can have a business, yes, you can make a profit, but you can do it with sustainability, with consciousness, with sustainability, and with a soul.
In reality, success and sustainability now go hand in hand, because it is not just a trend, going green or eco or whatever word people use.
Yeah.
It's not a trend anymore. It is here to stay, because the very fabric of our livelihood depends on it.
It's actually the future.
The quality of life.
Yeah, it's the
future. We have nothing.
Yeah, it's the future.
And there are many aspects to think of when it comes to manufacturing, from the materials used, from the origin, where they are coming from the manufacturing process, the transportation, packaging, like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what we do is people get confused, because there is so much to research. How do we know if it's really eco-friendly or not? So that's why I guess people tend to shy away from it, because it takes effort, and sometimes it also takes a little bit of extra money. Though there is a misconception that not all eco-friendly products are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, it's true. Like, for example, not everybody can afford an electric vehicle, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand...
But it's where the future is moving towards.
Yes, and that will bring eventually... There will be schemes from the government and from the institutions to help people transit. But there are many other small things that we can do, and that won't cost us extra money. On the other hand, it will save us.
Yeah.
So take reusables, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Many things are reusable now, from the eye makeup remover to blades and shaving. There's so many things that we can reuse, and so many innovative creations that it's making it easy for now to become a conscious consumer.
Yeah, that's amazing. I know you're also part of SEAM, which is the Social Entrepreneurs Association in Montreal. And you have also been involved with your brand, which is the Coral brand, in presenting eco-markets. Of course, the pandemic took away so much from us, including the possibility of having these open markets and bringing more awareness by having more proximity. But there is still possibilities in sending the message out there and also continuing this eco kind of business. So for those who have never heard of Seam. I had never heard of Seam, for example, and it was so interesting for me to find out more about it. Maybe you'll tell us a little bit about that, and also about your brand, as well as the events around which you were bringing in this sustainability sort of entrepreneurship.
Yes, definitely. So SEAM stands for Social Entrepreneurs Association Malta. It's a not-for-profit organization, and our main objective, I am one of the founding members. Okay. One of the main objectives is to make social entrepreneurship more popular in Malta, introduce it to students, to young entrepreneurs, because like we said before, it's the future anyway. But also to provide them with an ecosystem that helps them and facilitate their journey. So for example, we have lawyers who can give legal advice about business. We have marketing advice, funding opportunities, collaborations. We have,
it's a place where you can find
an entrepreneur needs, to
find a lot of solutions. It's almost a one-stop shop in that respect, for setting up a business.
Yes.
Ideally,
and then there is also the legal aspect of the Social Enterprise Act, which it's a different subject on its own, and it would require another interview on its own. So that's for another day, perhaps.
Tell us a little bit about Coral.
Coral is actually a brand of the E-Co-Market. My main brand is the E-Co-Market.
Yeah.
It started as a project to raise awareness about environmental sustainability, in particular conscious consumerism in Malta. And as my own personal sustainability journey evolved, and I started to, discover these eco-friendly and responsibly made products, the idea to create a market for them, to me, came quite easy. So there was the initial setup. We had a crowdfunding campaign, quite a successful one, which gave us not only a market validation, because a lot of people were writing to us saying, yes, we need this is so needed in Malta, etc. But we saw the rise of an amazing community. And we've had events, we've had workshops, we've had kids activities, we've had talks, projects, campaigns. And so on. We were on a roll until the pandemic hit.
As happened to a lot of other businesses, sustainable or not. Yeah.
So then last year we launched the E-Co-Market online.
That's
which
amazing.
We renamed as Coral, which has also another meaning and another purpose on its own. But essentially it works just like any other online store where you can buy things online and have them delivered at home from various categories. But the difference is that each and every product and each and every brand goes through an eligibility vetting process where we make sure we take off the research and the things that take time for people.
Yeah.
We do them ourselves.
Okay.
And we explain why the products are sustainable and how they are different from commercial products.
So anyone who wants to buy anything that's sustainable, especially locally in Malta, can visit the site. We can leave a link later, and they can be assured that they are going to have the proper sustainability and quality control has already been vetted and done by your end. As suppliers who have sustainable objects to sell, they could also get in touch with you and also be part of this platform, I'm imagining. Is that how it works?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, that's interesting.
There are many things. I mean, like I said, multi-category, from fashion, kids, home. We look at many aspects, like including also fair trade, organic. And we have a lot of creatives doing amazing things with upcycled and recycled material, like using objects that would otherwise go to waste and creating new innovative things out of it.
How amazing.
Then we have a food section where we look at healthy, vegan, plant-based, cruelty-free, and very importantly, as much as possible, we support local.
That's so lovely. That's so lovely. What do you have in store for tomorrow, which is quite a big day? Any events, particular online events?
In reality, nothing, because being, mass gatherings being prohibited at the moment, we have nothing planned. Otherwise, we would have a huge event planned. I mean, last year we also founded Earth Week of Malta, which is a collaboration between, I think, 20 different NGOs in Malta and social enterprises working for the environment, including Friends of the Earth, BirdLife, and so on. There's a whole lot of them.
Lovely.
We were going to make this mega event, but obviously it got cancelled. What we will be doing is sending our message through
a lot of
the
awareness.
internet.
Yes, and this is the reason why we are here today. I think your message came out beautifully and very strong. To have someone who is, relatively young, you have two very young children, correct? And you are playing a real massive balancing act between trying to give them a future and a life and an environment and a world that will be, a good place for them to be nurtured and to grow into adults, with themselves having the consciousness of taking care of it for their own children in the future. And at the same time, obviously, running a life, having a business, that is all linked together, because you have turned this into your purpose. This has become clearly, it is your purpose.
Definitely, I feel seen, and particularly is my a very important part of my life purpose. The Aqua Market obviously is my baby. I consider it still a baby because we have so many things then planned for the future, and as soon as mass gatherings can start taking place again.
Yeah.
But in reality, the trick is to find what you love to do, and so that it doesn't feel like work. I managed to include everything.
Yeah, and this is quite important, because when work doesn't feel like work, it's obviously because it's coming from a real good place. There's a lot of love, passion, and
so, like you said before.
It has. So I just want to ask you one last question, which I asked you when we were offline, and it was so interesting because I did ask, where did this love and passion come from? Of course, as you said, it was when you were planning to have a family, you started having this nurturing thing, but I know you've traveled a lot, and I know that you have a very colorful start to your life. Just tell us a little bit about that, because it ties in very beautifully with your message.
Yeah, I always was the adventurous type. I never liked conformity. So when I was 21, I was a bit bored with my studies. I wasn't studying something that made me feel alive, and obviously now I know why. So I just left. I started working on a cruise liner. I actually manifested my own job on a cruise liner, because at that time there weren't internet. You couldn't apply easily for jobs like today.
Very true.
It was, yeah. And this has led me to visit over 55 countries in 4 continents, and waking up every morning in a different place, on a different port. And what fascinates me now I realize what fascinated me the most is seeing the extremes, right? So you see the extremes of beautiful nature in the fjords, in the Caribbean, etc. And then you see the streets of Delhi or Kathmandu with those rivers infested with trash and contamination and so on. So seeing these extremes probably inspired me into creating a balance in what I do also, and in my point of view, in my respect, how I look at the environment now. Because if you really look at it, you can find these extremes even in Malta. You don't have to travel the world to find these extremes.
Very true.
So the message here I got is that it's human related. It's we are.
So it's also part of an education. It's part of an evolving culture, and the more awareness there is, and this is why we wanted to bring this message, particularly today, because tomorrow being Earth Day, there is no better time than to bring more awareness about taking care of this world for ourselves, for our children, and for the future of this beautiful world.
Yeah, we caused it, we need to fix it.
Yeah,
basically.
that is. I think that is an excellent parting message, and it's really a very beautiful one. Then I thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Mariella.
It was really a pleasure. It's a pleasure getting to know, the members on Lady Boss on Fire up close, because you all have such a beautiful and strong message, but this is a particularly important one. I thank you, and I wish you the very best of a beautiful Earth Day tomorrow.
Thank you, Mariella. Thanks again.